Recording. Hi everyone.
Hi,
I
everyone.
Irina, Jessica here. I am Irina Aronoff. I'm a psychotherapist, Ketamine Assisted Psychotherapy practitioner. Um, and we're here today to introduce to you our Ketamine Assisted Psychotherapy Moms group that Jessica and I putting together and hopefully starting soon in September. And so just a little bit about um our connection is that me and Jessica met couple, maybe like how what maybe it's been a couple years now. Yeah,
hmm
yeah.
hmm hmm
Yeah, and really connected about our passion for ketamine assisted psychotherapy. We both use it as clients and therapists and I find it very beneficial. So Jessica, introduce yourself.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Cliff, licensed marriage and family therapist. I have a private practice out of Walnut Creek, and I've been practicing now for about 18 years. And speaking from my mom hat, I have a 19-year-old son who I just dropped off to college. So this group couldn't come with better timing. And then I also have a 16-year-old daughter. So I'm looking forward to hearing all the mom stories that are coming up in our group. So yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, and this reminds me to also talk we have a private practice. I have an office in Oakland Hills. Been practicing for the last what is it, 10, 11, 13 years. And I have three kids, two girls, 8 and 6, and a little boy 2. So little different stage, as you can tell. Jessica, little older kids, and mine are younger. So this group is really about moms with kids, all those ages, because we find that the struggles that moms going through are very similar.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that you and I have children at different stages of life because it helps me to remind myself of when I was in your stage, and then you can look and see what's coming ahead for you in my stages.
Yeah, exactly. So it gives you perspective, kind of broadens your vision.
That's
Um,
right. That's
yeah.
right.
So let's talk about how, like, why are we creating this group? Why do we believe and support CAP? So this group is specifically ketamine assisted psychotherapy, right? So maybe we can start with that. So it's pretty new treatment, right? And I know a lot of people I talk to, a lot of even colleagues still have this, uh, right? Is it maybe a judgment or just concern or sort of like not sure? I was talking to one psychiatrist the other day at a party, and she was just like, not. She's like, yeah, I know it's used for anesthesia, and so people are still not sure about this, and which I understand why, right? It's ketamine used at parties, but we believe in it. So what would you say, what are we bringing into this new treatment that we so supportive of and want to do specifically this treatment?
Yeah. I think ketamine, I've witnessed it with my own eyes and then also in my own personal journeys, the transformative power that it has to help the mind to see other perspectives that we might be overlooking, right?
Mhm.
The many people, when they talk about ketamine, say it's kind of like going down a ski slope. You're used to going down the same slope that's well defined by all the skiers that have skied down those same slopes before. And ketamine comes in and drops fresh snow and says, oh, there's other perspectives, other pathways that you can go down when you think about whatever X or Y that you think about, right? I think about my daughter, and all of these same ways of thinking come to my mind. And you do ketamine, and it allows you to have all of these different perspectives. The neuroplasticity comes in and says, let me show you, kind of 72 other ways to view the same experience that you've been viewing from the exact same way in the exact same neurological pathway. I've seen people come out of my office saying things that I would never ever think that I would hear come out of their mouths because they've had this different shaking up the snow globe, so to speak, and coming out of it with a new perspective. So it's kind of like a co-therapist, right? You're a therapist in the room, I'm a therapist in the room, the medicine is a therapist in the room, and what it does for us is also another medicine in the room. So I believe in it. I've seen it change lives and give people a lot of hope, especially moms. It helps you just kind of reignite some joy that maybe motherhood is not always easy, as we know, and it doesn't always spark joy in us, especially when our children are, having a difficult or challenging moment. And it allows you to kind of zoom out and take a different look at yourself in the same scenario and be able to see the truth through your children's eyeballs, not just yours, which then helps
Mm,
us to create better understanding and a deeper connection for sure.
yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that. I so agree with you about the change of perspective and how it just opens up your mind. And also get him in. So sometimes I say, uh, to me, how therapy works. We know that there's research confirming that, and yet it can be sometimes such a long, arduous journey. It takes a long time. So I say for me, because I'm so patient, it gives like a boost of, like you said, another tool, another therapist, another consciousness changing material that lowers our defenses. And we know when maybe people, you know, our clients don't know what defenses are, maybe psychologically, but it's just basically your protection mechanisms. So behind that is who you really are, the truth of
Mhm.
who you are, and protecting that is all those just things we developed over childhood, over adulthood, the conditioning that's in a way of us just being us, kind of
Mhm.
authenticity that's behind that. And it takes quite a long time, usually in therapy, to get there. And not that it's ketamine's magic pill that dissolves it completely. It's not that, but it is a boost and a helper in a way to go a little deeper into yourself, to connect more with yourself. And that's why I love it. It gives you like that extra, sometimes, how you to get over that hump. Maybe like you've been in therapy, but it's been plateauing, the result is plateauing. And so that's what helps to go deeper, um, gives more energy to the process.
Yeah, yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like a faster way to get to vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
You could spend session after session after session, years and years of therapy, and still the ego is very alive and well in those sessions, and you have a hard time getting underneath the ego. And
Yeah.
ketamine shushes the ego safely and gently enough to where you're supple and you're more porous, and you can drop right down into that vulnerability so much quicker. So
Yeah.
I like it. I prefer to use ketamine all the time with my clients, but it's understandable that not everybody wants
Yeah,
to.
I always recommend it. I'm like, well, and I use it sometimes. Clients who have a therapist will come in just for ketamine, and we'll just do that process. So it can be used as an adjunct to say, if you're a mom and you already have a regular therapist and you just want to come in for the group, that's perfectly fine. They perfectly complement each other. So you could do just the ketamine portion with us.
Right. Yeah, I have many that I get the pleasure of meeting just because their therapist referred them to me because I, practice in this modality. I would have never known them had I not done ketamine. And so,
Yeah,
yeah, it's a
yeah,
great way for people to add to their already, great treatment program that they're working on with their existing therapist.
yeah, for sure. So let's talk about moms. Why moms? Right? Why do we
Why
pick
moms? Yeah.
why moms? Why do we pick this, this category? identity for this group to be supported by this group. Say,
Yeah, I mean, we threw around a lot of ideas, a lot of little niches, and we settled into the mom niche because
mhm,
I think it's we're both women, we're both mothers, we both have children of different stages of life, and I think that fall is a nice time to talk about this with moms because it's rearing up for the school year.
mhm,
And if you're anything like me, stress comes with school, and having a nice way of staying zoomed out and using kind of that wise adult brain versus that younger brain when we parent, right? When those defenses show up when we're parenting, we're losing sight of being that wise adult self, which then ketamine helps to gently remind us of, how we want to be, you know.
yeah,
I think it hits the reset button for moms. It allows us to care less where we need to care less and to care
mhm,
more where we need to care more.
yeah. And I observe it with myself, with my friends and clients. It's when it's basically, I was just thinking about the day because I was home alone with 3 kids and my husband went to school stuff. And I was like, you know how the kids are like so alive and full of energy, and it's so lovely. Really, they just like enjoying themselves. They like went to a hot tub. They were having a great time. But because I was getting tired and exhausted, I was starting to get really impatient with them. I almost felt like kind of jealous in
Mm,
a way, like maybe not in a conscious way. But I noticed I started raising my voice. Like they play and they're not listening. It's like I almost like wanted to like, do this thing that we do sometimes, like raise voice or yell. And then I was caught myself and was like, what's happening? And I saw that I want to have fun. I want to enjoy myself and I can't. And my cup was pretty empty. And I was like, okay, yeah, that's so makes so much sense. And I felt a lot of compassion towards myself, like, oh, of course, like I'm not yelling because I'm about mom. It's just like I need something. My needs are not met. And it's
that's
that
right.
cycle that I see with moms all over. It's like we so much in caretaking, so much in giving, satisfying needs for our children. And then we like the last thing on the list. And then we fall off the list.
That's right. That's right. We put ourselves last. I love that self-awareness that it's given you, right? Like
Yeah,
who would have known if you'd have, had the perspective taking that you had without ketamine's assistance, right? Of just saying,
exactly.
let me kindly and compassionately show you some self-awareness. Why are you getting upset? What is the root of your upset right now? Oh, it's because I'm a little jealous. I'm a little envious that they're out there playing and having such a good time and I'm in here, kind of being Cinderella and cleaning up everything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah, I've
And then I could like sit for a moment, be like, well, what if what if I sit here for 5 minutes and enjoy this beautiful view that we have? Why do I feel like I need to constantly cook and clean and it's so interesting, right? And then so
yeah,
much self-awareness can come in. And you're right, it is because of many medicine journeys, ketamine assisted psychotherapy that helps us to be more self-reflective and develops that ability of like that awareness of, okay, what's happening with me that I'm acting this way? Do I want to be this way? i
right.
don't
Do
i
I
don't want to
want to
be
be
this way.
this way? Right. Do I
Yeah,
want to be this way? And it takes the shoulds, right? The shoulda, woulda, coulda, and it questions those shoulds of who said I should not be outside with my family right now and that
exactly.
I should be in here, putting away the dishes. It shifts our mind to say, let me just gently challenge that, right? I think that
Mhm.
men have a much better time at recognizing the shoulds and kind of throwing them out, right? Of like, oh, this is crap, right? Whereas women, we feel so, as mothers, at least I'll speak for myself, I feel dutiful. I feel like I
Yeah.
have this duty that I have to perform for my family. And if I'm not being a quote unquote good mother. And ketamine comes in like other psychedelics, but a little bit more gently and slowly and says, really?
Yeah.
You should look at that. And
Let's, yeah,
yeah, let's
let's
dissect
question that.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's really question that, you know? So I like how it quiets the mom guilt brain. You know, I should
Oh,
be doing this, I should be doing that. It just quiets that. It says,
yeah.
maybe not.
Absolutely. Not only it quiets it, it kind of gives you, to me, it's also like a bigger perspective. Like, yeah, you have your mom identity or like wife identity or whatever, housemaker identity. Those things that are like brainwashed, like really hard, in there. And then kind of is like, well, what else is there?
Yes,
Let's kind of
yeah.
play with that. What also, what else? And it gives you so much freedom from those little boxes that you put yourself in. Be like, yeah, what do I want? If I'm free
Yeah.
from any identification, what is there.
Right, right. I think it also, adding to the benefits of ketamine for moms, it helps me get out of the mom survival mode, right? Of like
Mhm.
that fight or flight. Of like our nervous system goes through, these peaks of cortisol and then low cortisol throughout the day. Maybe getting up in the morning, we're at this peak nervous system regulation, and then by the end of the day, like the nervous system is just like ready to shut down. Ketamine comes there and says, it's okay to have a calmer nervous system in times where you're typically really, really defensive with your kids or really
Mhm.
performative with your kids. Again, it allows that fresh snow to fall and say, you don't have to be in fight or flight all the time with your kids. What are you so nervous about? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. And that's how, so part of this group, we picked like three ketamine journeys exactly to help with the nervous system regulation and calming, and kind of build on that. And it's a part of this. I feel like we just created the group in mind with like this nurturing, very calm, very healing space, so moms can come in stressed, like you said, from all the school stuff, all the activities, and come to themselves
Mhm.
and feel supported, feel like, final. It's like an exhale, like, oh, I can let go here, 3 hours all to me, dedicated to me, where I'm supported and held, and I can see what's inside of what I need, and yeah, and receive that nourishment and love. That's how
That's
kind
right.
of envisioned this. Is that how you see it, our group? Is it really?
Absolutely. I think that we're all going to build each other up and wrap our, literal or figurative arms around each other and
Mhm.
support um, one another through just the challenging moments of motherhood and have our own backs, right? I mean, how many times as a mother you just like you have your kids back, give your kids back all the time.
Mhm.
Talk about like kid centered, but how often do we have our own backs? Like
Yeah,
I don't really have my own back a lot. I will self-sacrifice myself so
yeah,
my children, they know that I have their back.
yeah, and
So
I'll sacrifice time, right? Like, so I'll spend to give time with my kids, spend time with my kids, but not with myself, right?
mhm.
That's how I do it. And like, same with even just thinking about like, say, oh, I'll pay for their activities. Like, oh, sure, you want to do ballet? Let's do ballet. But if I need something, like invest in myself, and like, okay, that's a harder thing to do, right? It's like suddenly like, oh, it doesn't fit in budget.
Right, right. That's funny. I'm laughing as you say that. It's bringing back a time where my daughter gets new clothes constantly. Maybe once, once a month, once or other month, she's going to Target and getting new clothes. I'm wearing clothes from like 1989, sometimes 1998. I'm like, why am I when am I gonna buy myself when am I gonna tell myself that it's okay to go buy myself a new shirt?
Yeah, yeah, I'm shopping on Temu. Do you know Temu is like the
Right.
cheaper version of Amazon? Like,
Right, right.
that's
My
great.
daughter's like sporting clothes from like Lululemon, and I'm in like, Walmart clothes.
Yeah. So we know
Nothing
how
wrong
it
with
is.
Walmart.
Huh? We know how it is, moms. We know how it is, how important it is to put yourself on the list, not on the bottom of a list. Don't fall off the list. Put
Exactly.
yourself on the list and then move yourself up the list.
That's right. Because I think that, we can't we learn this so much in just regular talk therapy is we can't expect our children to do what we have not done ourselves,
Mm,
right? So if we're trying to teach our sons and daughters to learn how to regulate your nervous system, they're going to look at you like you have three heads if you say that. But if you practice with these wonderful medicines like ketamine, you
mm,
actually learn how to down regulate your nervous system. So then you can demonstrate that through breath
mm,
work to your child. And when I do belly breathing with my kids, they come out of it just feeling like they're, my mom, my heart's beating slower. I feel so much more present in this moment,
yeah,
right? Because it really works. Again, but if I don't know how to do that, how can I expect my kids to know how to do that? You know?
yeah, yeah. And they will feel, so your kids will feel the benefits of your regulated nervous system without even
Absolutely.
naming it, they'll just feel calmer around you.
That's
Uh,
right. That's right. It's
yeah, and
contagious.
it's contagious because of mirror neurons, right?
Hmm.
And then they will feel happy. And sometimes kids don't like absorb our emotions. I see my kids, especially like younger kids, they'll just mirror me, right? What I'm feeling. And so the more regulated I am, the calmer I am, the calmer our evening. So it's all comes back to us,
Hmm.
to us how we are, our state. Again,
Hmm.
more reasons to do your own work and yeah, regulates the nervous system. And ketamine is so great for anxiety. I mean, we both love it, right? Like we both done it, and the feeling after, like, oh, so good. It's like reminds you the baseline of how can it be with.
That's right. Yeah, it shows me personally what my body can feel like not
Mm,
anxious.
mm,
Because it's hard to aim for a goal if you don't know what that goal of feeling different feels like. So
mhm,
ketamine comes in and goes like, oh, let me show you what that feels like
mhm,
in your nervous system. And of course, the mind, the ego wants to go like, well, that's different and throw out difference. But
mhm,
ketamine says maybe different is not bad. Maybe different is just
mhm.
something that exactly what you need, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, and it feels good. Like I feel better with regulated nervous system when I'm not.
Right.
I can
Amen.
tell, yeah, I can tell that's the place I want to be in, just because there's more pleasure in it.
That's
You
right.
have pleasure.
And have there been times, Irina, where maybe soon after a ketamine session or, a couple of days after when you're still in that, critical learning period they talk about with psychedelics is somebody might be in a hard situation. You have a child that's upset about something, your husband's involved, right? And you're regulated in that situation, but you realize the other people in the room are not regulated. So you're trying to model something so the nervous systems can kind of catch on to each other, right? Talk about contagious. And you're like, thank you, ketamine, for showing me how to like hold on to myself and stay sturdy in moments of slow chaos or moments of rupture and upset.
Right.
The grounding.
Yeah, it can be that grounding presence for your family when
Mhm.
it's getting out of control. Yeah.
Right, right. And that's when, my husband will say, since you've been practicing with ketamine, I have benefited from it because then I
Mhm.
get to see a different perspective through watching you. I watch you stay grounded and more sturdy, and it helps me when I'm becoming unsturdy to look at you and let you kind of your nervous system do the leading in those moments. So it's like sometimes husbands get these like awesome benefits and they didn't even do the medicine.
Yeah, the whole
It
family.
positively impacts the whole family and they didn't even, have to, swallow the medicine. or not swallow it, swish it and spit
Swish
it.
it. Yeah.
Which we'll
Swish
tell
it.
people about later.
Yeah. Yeah. We will. Sure. Yeah. So that's the whole, yeah, benefits for the whole system. So kind of sum it up for stress, great for stress. So this group, right? Like we're kind of mom we're calling in, but it's when you're stressed, when you feel like you need nourishment, you just want to have this time for self-reflection. Maybe you're anxious. Anxiety is great uh, for this. And who's not anxious? Let's be honest. The San Francisco Bay Area. Like, have you met a non-stressed and not anxious person recently? Seems like that's what.
Yeah, far and few. Yeah, we definitely live in a pressure cooker
Yeah.
in this area for sure. Our
Right.
kids feel it too.
Yes. Yeah. So basically, yeah. Oh, everybody needed, and it's great for depression. So right. So that's another area where ketamine is just great. I would say miracle, but it's study after study show with this, and there's neurological component, but again, it's coming back to that identity and getting out of your tunnel vision. So a lot of times depression feels like the stuckness, the tunnel. This is it. This is how it's gonna be, and then ketamine comes in and opens your mind to, okay, let's see, is it true?
Mhm,
And
mhm,
then you
that's
can
right.
maybe see more possibilities, or suddenly this ski slope becomes available, right? And this one, and it's not just this one that you've been going down.
That's right. That's right. As it allows you to go down a slope you've never been before, and then you see trees you didn't ever see, or you see an animal that you would have never seen, right? You changes your vista point. And when we change
Yep.
our vista point, we add to the conversation. It allows us to say, now I have this thing to talk about. When I was only looking here, I could only talk about that, you know? So it's just that
Exactly.
talk about that mind expanding medicines
Right.
versus medicines that don't expand the mind, right?
Expanding the mind, help rewiring the mind and increasing your plasticity. Again, getting out of those negative patterns, negative mind loops, right?
Hmm.
Like a lot of times our thoughts can be negative, so changing that. A lot of nourishment, a lot of love, a lot of healing.
That's right. And then, the I'll just speak for a moment to the place that you and I have found to do this work for the 3 dosing sessions is quite beautiful. Irina, if you
Yeah,
remember,
I
it's
yeah,
perfectly set up for this type of work. It's easy to get to, and it's just a really, really special place. It's really good vibes to it.
yeah, yeah. I'm just excited about doing it in that place
Mhm.
because it's so beautiful. It's in Danville, right? So just
It's in Alamo. Yeah,
Alamo. Okay, okay,
yeah, it's
sorry,
in
yeah,
Alamo.
close
Yeah.
by, but yeah. So it's in Alamo, and the groups are Friday morning. Those are the only one you need to come in person. Everything else is on Zoom, but you would want to come to that in person anyway, right? And experience the sessions. Yeah,
That's right. I'm looking forward to it.
yeah, yeah. Is there what else? It's been maybe half an hour. I'm just thinking, what else? Um, what else do you want to
Maybe,
share?
how do you feel about sharing your personal story, your
Yeah,
postpartum story? And I can share a personal story of how, because maybe the moms want to know, how it's impacted our life with
yeah.
anecdotal stories.
Okay, so now it's transitioning. So we've been talking more from a therapist hat, right? But we also experienced ketamine assisted psychotherapy as clients. And yeah, my personal favorite story is that I did it when I think it was only 6 months postpartum, like pretty soon after. But you know how after giving birth, of course, in 4 months, kind of all over the place. And I was and just recovered from birth, right? It's just really intense time. And I wish more moms had access to it, right? Like pretty soon after, because I feel like the whole transition is so hard. And you know that feeling where you can't put like the baby down and you're like obsessively watching their breathing and you're like
Are they breathing? Are they breathing?
other breathing because they're so precious, they're so vulnerable, they're so small. So you like, I don't know, I'm like, oh my God, like, you want to really make sure they're okay. And I couldn't like go. I couldn't like, was so attached to the baby. I couldn't like step out. And for 6 months when I was obsessed with the baby, yeah, that pretty much wrecked up my anxiety pretty bad. And finally I
Mm,
was like, oh yeah, it's bad. Like I can't even not feel anxious. Like my feels like my anxiety is like became like my this baseline. But I already can tell like, adrenaline system was getting tired. I was not sleeping well. I wasn't already not sleeping well, but this just kind of, makes the cycle worse. So I finally arranged time to do it. And when I did it, at first it was like my mom's identity was like dissolving and it was scary.
mm.
And I was like, oh, wait, my baby. And then I was like, oh, okay, it's okay. And I let go. And it was like this great relief that I felt. That's it's bigger. Like my identity is bigger than just mom. And it's okay to let go for a moment. It's okay to like,
Mm,
I know if my baby's safe, my baby's good hands. And for this moment, for this 30 minutes, I can let go and be free.
mhm,
And
mhm.
it was such a powerful reset. It was more of a cosmic feeling. And I was just like really felt this peace and tranquility. And when I came back, I didn't, again, it's how you were saying, showed me the baseline. So for 2 weeks, I just didn't feel anxious at all. Like it just
Mm,
reset me back to my normal setting, gave my nervous system a break from constant stress and anxiety, and I couldn't do it myself. I needed
yeah,
help. I needed the medicine kind of guide me through this. And then I felt so much better, and and the anxiety was crippling in back after that, but it was more manageable because I could see and I could, do my coping skills where I could
yeah,
address it, not letting it
yeah,
build up like that. So, and I just felt like a different person after. It was really powerful. And
yeah.
I'm sure the way I showed up as a mom was also much calmer, more regulated nervous system for my baby.
That's right. That's right. And then when you hold your baby, your nervous system and their nervous system becomes more aligned.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's I was just amazed that I wish I could, and I was in the mom's group and I was trying to tell, it's like, wow, the more women should, need to know about this because everybody struggles postpartum. I don't think
That's
in our culture, it's not possible not to.
right. And isn't it so amazing? I mean, it's such a transformative story for you. Isn't it amazing how you could have done like a full ayahuasca retreat to get that message, but ketamine showed it to you. This
Yeah, but
much
I
more
couldn't because I couldn't get
gentle, and
away.
yeah, you
Yeah,
can't go do that. You
I
have the
can
time to do that, right?
exactly. I needed to like go away, do the night, do the day, do like intense preparation, right? Yeah, and that wasn't possible. I had 2 hours between breastfeeding sessions.
Right, right. And
That's
ketamine's safe to do with breastfeeding as long as you time it right, and you can, I think they say you can breastfeed it like a couple of hours after
yes,
because it's completely out of your system a
it's
couple of
completely
hours
out of
later. Yeah.
exactly. It's safe for breastfeeding, with the timing right and
Hmm.
precautions, and then it's safe,
It's
and
quicker.
it's
Mhm.
quicker, and I had 2 hours to myself,
Yeah. Yeah,
and it
two
was
hours, not 2 days or 2 weeks to go to Costa Rica. And there's a place for all the medicines. All the medicines are honored between you and I for sure. Like
yeah,
ketamine is FDA approved, research based. It's faster, it's gentler. Not everybody's comfortable with gobbling up a bunch of mushrooms quite yet.
yeah.
To get having
Exactly. It's
it's a
perfect
good
way.
start.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, perfect safe way to get started. If you prescribe. Oh, and the way we do it, we work with journey clinicals, right? So when you do sign up for the group, you'll have a consult with their psychiatric nurse, and that person makes sure that it's okay with whatever your personal history, medical history, right? So it's like one of the safest medicines on earth. During a clinical
Yeah,
person told me, right?
right, right. And again, we give it to babies in the NICU. So if it was not safe, we would not give it to infants.
Yeah, right, right. So that's again, when you're a busy mom and you only have a couple hours and you can't go on the retreat, I'll say it's a good option
Yeah,
to,
it is a nice option.
yeah,
Yeah, especially because you can, I can function in the world the next day, whereas,
exactly.
some other medicines, you're gonna be really tired the next day. You might be tired the next day on ketamine as well, but it's not the heaviness and the intensity as some of the other medicines. And again, there's a place for all medicines. We're in, for our work and our purposes here, we're talking primarily about ketamine and its smoothness and gentleness.
Yeah, and it's an easy start.
That's
Safe,
right. That's
easy.
right.
And which reminds me that also part of the group is integration of those sessions, because you know how in the space we always talk about the importance of integration. It's not about just having the medicine session, but it's also learning what you learn, or learning what insights you have and journey, and then applying it into your life. So you're not only don't have anxiety for 2 weeks, you become less anxious over time for your life. That's the goal for me. It's transformation um, that happens, that becomes your new baseline. It's not just doing the journey and then going back the way you are. That's the way how I see it. Is it kind of how you also view it?
Yeah, absolutely. Applying whatever emerged, right? Whatever emerged in your sessions, applying it to your daily life.
Exactly.
The dosing session is important, but I would argue that the integration of what came up in your dosing session is much more important than just taking the medicine, right? I think that ketamine, I like to show, and all other psychedelics, the medicine shows you the homework, and you have to go and do the homework,
Yeah.
right? To learn the lesson. It's not going to do the homework for you, but it's going to show you this is your homework to do,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. And that's where we come in as therapists with this group, where you have a structure. Not only would you, so every time we have a dosing session, we have an integration session coming up. So we help you to make sense out of your experience, to apply it to your life and really integrate it. So it's a lot of, it's a lot that happens in between as well. It's not just you come in and experience the journey. It's also, okay, how do I make this my new reality? What you learn. So it's a transformational experience as well. And you can
Mhm.
take it as much as you want, right? Like um, can take it as deep as you want to go, basically. With this
Mhm.
process.
Yeah, and my vision is that we have all these, spectacular women on our Zoom integration, and they can do it from their PJs at home,
Yeah, and
and
it's
we
still
can.
your time, nourishment
It's
time,
still
right? Like
your time, right? With your
your time.
coffee in hand or your tea in hand, and you're cozy. And one woman says, this is what emerged for me. And then I see, three other women chiming in and going, oh, me too, me too. It's going to be a
Yeah,
lot of little, hey, how did you know? I kind of got something similar to that too. Or let me piggyback on that thought. That's what's so great about group work, is
yeah,
that you're not just stuck in, person therapist, you get all these other, morphs into other conversations with other mothers. And I guarantee that there's going to be some friendships that come out of these groups, because you're going to get kind of close to these women and feel like we did something really big together, and
yeah.
and that connects us, you know.
Yeah, it's a deep dive, and I'm always fascinated that the group is always like just perfect, right? So that's it's like a cohesion, group feel, we can say, and everybody's in the group is exactly the right person. So, and group members learn so much from each other. And what you say, they're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like it's this in new insight can come in through this other person.
That's right.
And
It's like popcorn, right? It just pops
yeah,
and then that pops, yeah.
yeah, that's why I really like I've done a lot of ketamine assisted psychotherapy individually, and I'm so excited about doing the group. Like I feel like it's the next, expansion. And yeah. Well, what about your ketamine experience as a client? What did you find most helpful, or how did it impact your life?
Yeah, so one story that sticks out in my mind, and you know it because you were my guide for it, and you couldn't have been a more perfect guide for the situation. So, in this particular ketamine session, what emerged for me was a a very difficult conversation that I had with my 16-year-old daughter, and I said something that was pretty mean. That I felt a lot of shame around and a lot of regret, but I had never repaired that with her. We just kind of let time go by, brushing it under the rug. Don't want to bring that up because that's really uncomfortable. But it was sticking with me, and the ketamine showed me um, kind of gave me the shame, but it showed me the shame from a place of self-compassion. I saw the same scenario through her eyeballs versus my eyeballs. But it's like I was her. I was her, and I was watching me talk to her and say the really mean thing that I did. And I think the mean thing that I said, just to be transparent, was it said something like, well, if you treat people the way that you're treating me, you're not going to have a lot of friends. And I remember, Irina, you kind of gasped when I said that, right? You kind of went, and it hit me like I needed your gasp to then help me see it from her perspective. Because I think if she could have gasped, she would have, being developmentally older than she is.
Mm.
And I went home and I apologized. I went and I sat on her bed, and she was laying down, of course, laying on her screen. And I have something I have an apology to make to you. This happened a while ago. I don't even know if you remember it, but it does not sit well with me. And I messed up. And I need you to know I messed up, and I should not have said that. And I am sorry. I am really sorry. And I got a little teary eyed telling her. And she kind of looked at me at first like I had three heads, but then said, okay, thanks, mom. She's not used to me going back and saying, I did this thing that really, probably makes you look at me different, that I didn't have poise under pressure, and I have a mean side, and my mean side came out, and I hope you can forgive me. And she's half of me, right? She's got half of my DNA, she's got half of her dad's, and my DNA can definitely come out on her side, so we can both be mean. But I wanted to be a leader, and I knew that I had to make it right with her in order for her to see me as a leader, not as, another child in the situation, because I acted like a child. I said something that was straight out of my ego and my defensiveness. And the ketamine allowed me to have some self-compassion for myself and to say, you were tired, you were overworked, you weren't listening to yourself, you weren't taking care of your own needs, and you need to go make that right with your daughter. Go show her what a leader looks like. So I
Mm.
tried to, I did the best I could. We're all a work in progress, right?
Yeah, no, it's such a powerful story because it just reminds me of we all carry shame and guilt as parents because we're not perfect. And when we model to our kids that it's okay to make mistakes, it's okay to mess, like we're not going to be perfect, right? A lot of times we try to maintain that facade of perfection, you know, and
And we're
not
not we're not fooling anyone, right?
not falling out. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're definitely not fooling our kids. The kids are very percent like, yeah, whatever, mom. But we're like, I got this. No, I know what I'm doing.
And they're like, no, you don't.
And you're like, no, you don't. And to own when you know you didn't, you messed up basically. Uh and to own it and go back, it's so powerful. I mean,
Oh, it was so powerful. I would say that, this sounds cheesy, but I feel like our relationship after that moment changed because she saw something in me that my ego and my pride wouldn't let me show her without the softening of ketamine. It softens where we are hardened, um, where we think that we're unbreakable, and I have to just be so tight in this moment. It goes like this, it kind of breaks that apart and says, soften, looser, gentle, you know?
That's beautiful. Get a visceral sense of that when you describe it.
Yeah, like seeing it breaking into
Yeah,
pieces,
yeah. It does have a beautiful, like, heart opening quality, the medicine. And I remember one time I was just feeling like all this gratitude, started to feel like this gratitude, just I was like, wow, so grateful. Like, great. So it does like this. I really like that you described it, that the softening of the heart
Yeah.
and the egos.
Yeah, I sometimes ask my clients that are doing it and I'm guiding them. I say, visualize you're going into your nervous system and like you're seeing all your little blood vessels and you're seeing all of like the things that happen in your body with your molecules and nerve endings and all this. And ask the ketamine to show your body what a relaxed nervous system from the inside looks like. And they kind of have fun with it. It's like this like roller coaster ride that they'll describe of like traveling in their body and figuring out like, show me this ride of the direction that I'm trying to get with my nervous system. I want to see
Mm,
calm. I want to feel calm. How do I get to that? Well, if it works on the glutamate system, and the glutamate system is very good at giving us these snapshot visuals of like what that looks like and what that could feel like. It drops us down into our body. I feel like
mm,
ketamine does that more than any other medicine that I've ever experienced. It's just,
mm.
you know,
Yeah,
so
that's so fun.
it is
Enjoyed
so
it. I
fun.
was
It's
kind of
like,
like doing it as you were talking. I was like, okay, let's see, like,
yeah, like ride the roller coaster of your of inside your body and see where it takes you. You can Some clients come out and go, oh, I was in my heart, and just like beating with my heart. And
mm,
the music that I chose in that moment was kind of like very psychedelic, but not scary or eerie, just very like um transformative, like a lot of flow to it. And that's another thing you and I haven't talked about yet is music selections. Like we put a lot of thought and mindfulness into the music that we're choosing to play for these lovely moms and what we think that might be a good choice. All of our stuff is non-lyrical, so it's not something that you've heard over and over and over. And we're really good because of all of our years of experiencing this medicine and working with it, not only personally but with clients. We could kind of tell like what music might be a good choice in that moment. You know?
yeah, exactly. There's a lot. Music is a huge guide and frequency, right? And so there's like the frequency space opens up and different tones or different um music has different frequencies. That's what I'm trying to
Mhm.
say. Probably could, there's like the whole thing about that and science and yeah, but that seems like it's a good description of the group, also our intention, and then we covered the benefits, um, and what you will receive, right? Stress relief, less anxiety, less depression. If you have it, then more presence, calm, regulated nervous system, um, self-nourishment, self-love,
And a lot of self-love and self-compassion, and
self-compassion.
teaches you again how to have your own back, how to, give yourself a good mom pat on the back. I'm doing okay. I'm doing
Yes,
okay.
exactly. So that you can show up for your kids
Mhm.
nourished, happy, joyful, um, releasing shame and guilt, just be giving yourself a lot of compassion towards yourself, and then you can extend it to the children.
That's right. That's right.
That's that's what we want, right? We want to love our kids, not yell at them.
That's right.
So
We don't want
yeah,
them to remember us yelling at them.
yeah, exactly, exactly. Okay, Well, if you're interested in the group and apply, you can text Jessica. I'll give your number. Somehow I'll include your number or in my email, so you can text Jessica or email me, and we'll set up a talk and see if you fit and share you all the details. Then anything else, Jessica?
I think that's it. People will walk you through the process of, getting approved and getting the ketamine will be sent to your house. And then after it is, you'll be ready to attend the group. Looks like our first dosing session is September 12th at 10 a.m. in Alamo. So we need to try to make sure that you have your ketamine by then.
Yeah.
If not, maybe we can figure something out.
Maybe we
Get
can move a
creative.
little. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
If we
hopefully you'll have your consultation early September. I think it's ideal, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really, really beautiful thing. Something that we're going to do over and over and over if we get the chance to.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be something very special. I'm so excited about it. Yeah. Any questions? Let us know. Otherwise, yeah, be in touch.
Be in touch.
Yeah. All right, Jessica. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Yeah. Likewise.